Good morning, traders. So how do we trade the Dow Jones today? So firstly, we had this pin bar, and clearly you can see I was not the only one that was wanting to trade the pin bar, because this sell-off probably triggered a hell of a lot of stops all the way down. And yeah, it was quite a violent move to the downside. So yeah, so that didn't work out. We're still firmly entrenched in this downward trend, and I suppose what we need to start looking out for is start looking for what could we possibly be aiming for. So there is a gap here. There's some inside tails. So there's one area. There is also another inside tail there. Okay, and I think this one was covered. That one was retested on this bar here, but it's definitely an area. So you've got this congestion here, and you can see how we have closed below the 200 moving average as well. So this is pretty significant at the moment. And we'll look at the Bollinger as well, but I have a feeling we're still setting up a Bollinger W bottom here. Okay, so we had a 2.5% move down yesterday. I haven't seen why, but more than likely it's earnings that disappointed, unless Trump opened his mouth for something. And I haven't really seen any news. Not that I've been looking for it, but yeah, I think the Nasdaq specifically is now in correction territory, and we are also down. So we ended the year. Let's just put this line in. So we ended last year in up there, and we have now officially erased all gains for the year. So the Dow Jones is now at 0% growth for the year. Okay, and this is looking very ominous. Okay, so if you're trading this on an hourly time frame, you'd be expecting more downside to come. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm expecting at the moment. I think what you're going to find is sort of a sideways meander until the US Open, and then they're going to figure out which direction they're going to go. So yeah, I'm not even sure I want to trade this week. It is so volatile at the moment, and pretty much everything that you're doing, I mean, even if you're trading a closing range breakout strategy, you would have been stopped at both sides because it's so volatile, and then we get moving to the downside. So I think for me, I'm just going to keep my money in my pocket store. It is safer there, and watch this play out. And I think what you should be looking for is you have a consolidation pattern here. So this could be a bit of a bounce to the upside and then a move to the downside, or just head sideways before coming down to test these levels. Okay, so I do suspect we're going to tag 24,400, 24,400 and 24,270. I really do suspect we're going to tag those areas. We do have a pretty solid grouping of the oscillators, so for me, it's not an area to be short, but I want to sort of short the rallies as such. Okay, so the weekly as well is really, really looking horrible. There's another level we need to watch out for here. Nope, we've broken through that. Okay, so that trend line is also broken, and well, we haven't closed below it in the weekly, but it's definitely there. Now, where are we going to? Now, don't expect this thing to fall to zero. Okay, it's not going to fall to zero, but it could very well enter in the correction phase of this entire up move. So correction could be back down to the lows of this year, or even further, all the way down to 2100 or 20,000, somewhere around there. But it's going to present an opportunity to buy in the near term. Okay, and when it does present that opportunity, you need to make sure that you start building a position, because I suspect what's going to happen is something similar to what's happened here. You can see how we were quite volatile. build a base, and then pretty much for a year and a half just move in a direction. And I do believe that's going to happen again. So this could be seen just as a massive consolidation of the move up. And the other thing is, if you're watching these oscillators here, you'll see they will eventually start grouping to the bottom on the weekly, and that's going to start giving you your signal. You can see here we had a grouping and a crossover. It was a volatile move, but that was substantial either way. Okay, so if you manage to get in sort of in this area here and just stay in, you've got 2,700, almost 3,000 points, and you could be adding all the way up. So I suspect the same is going to happen. Maybe not right now in the short term, and if this is the beginning of earnings seasons, I can only expect there's more to come. Okay, the other thing to point out that there's a lot of talk around the S&P 500, where the majority of the stocks in there are either in a confirmed bear trend or in correction territory. Okay, I remember a correction is anything up to 30% reversal, so sort of 30% down. Okay, so it's not really something to panic about unless you got your pension locked into these sort of things, but you just got to be very aware of what's going on and trade accordingly. Okay, so my view of us finding a base, well, I was expecting us to find a base pretty much at this area here, hasn't played out. So I will now look for the next signal. Now the 4 hour is giving us an inside bar here, but this is just profit taking at the close. So we have had a little bit of we haven't had a gap, it looked like a gap, but this was profit taking, this bar here, and then you can see we're still meandering around. So I suspect another push down, but definitely looking at one of these levels here, 24,400, 24,380, and 24,270. Those are the areas the next areas that I'm going to be watching for a long entry. I'm not interested in getting in long here. We are kind of at a level, but we've broken the level, so it doesn't excite me. I'm looking for something around here. These oscillators are also starting to line up fairly nicely for me. 4 hour is not quite there. We do have a step outside the Bollinger Band, and that is a warning bell. So let's just have a look at the Bollinger. Okay, so we've got a 4 hour close outside the Bollinger Band. Not really going to do us any favors. Let's just get rid of the noise. Let's have a look at the daily. Okay, the daily is still a close on the Bollinger, close outside, close on the Bollinger. So this W pattern is still in play, and we have sort of a double bottom in play here as well. Okay, so there are warning bells. There's still warning bells here that there are buyers stepping in, and I pretty much would expect us to come down to this level at least. What are we on the daily here? So 24,370, 24,400, 24,300, somewhere around there. I think that's the area that you need to pay very careful attention to. Okay. And the other thing that you need to worry about is whatever bounce happens, it's going to sort of come and test the break of the 200 and then move it back down to the downside. Okay, so that's kind of my take on this at the moment. Not really, sorry, I just want to get this measured move. I think this is a distinct possibility as well. There's a move all the way down to 23,800, 23,820. Okay, and that lines up with the next swing low, but expect to bounce off 24,146 before making an attempt at the next level. So in other words, a bounce up. Ideally, you want to see it come to 200, sell at that point, and just use a trailing stop to get down so you don't get caught by any of these wild swings to the upside. Okay, so that's my take on it for today. Hope it helps, and I'll catch you later. Enjoy your day. Cheers for now.